And we are live. All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys have all had a great and Merry Christmas, a happy holidays, or whatever you would like to call it. Today's topic could be a little bit polarizing. You might get a little mad at me, but that's fine. I'm not really worried about it. I really think that everybody should be able to share their opinion, and you're welcome to share your opinion in the chat. I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to ask any questions you might have, but today's topic is going to be why I believe that New Year's resolutions, especially pertaining to fitness and the gym, are total bullshit. So I'll let Michael kind of give his give his perspective on things as well. And hey, what's up, Andrew? Happy to see you here, man.
Awesome. We already got some people in the chat. That's good,
Oh
man.
yeah. Simply Andrews Repairs. He does small engine repairs and stuff. And I was his first channel member. So I really appreciate him support. Oh, we've already got two other people here too. Welcome everybody.
Excellent.
Happy to have you here. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas again. But yeah, I believe New Year's resolutions basically set you up for failure. Let's see. Ladina, is that Ladiana? I'm sorry.
Yes, Ladina.
Ladina, welcome.
Yep.
And Blackbeard, what's up? Happy to see you again.
Absolutely.
But basically, I think that New Year's resolutions are total BS because I feel like they're a procrastinator's excuse. They're always saying, oh, we'll start a new year. I'm going to get back in the gym. And then the gym, I see it every year. I've seen it for multiple years now. It fills up for 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. And then for the other 50 weeks of the year, it's just as empty as it was for the prior 50 weeks of the year. So
sure.
I'll let Michael share his perspective.
Well, my perspective is probably in line with what you're saying, but I do have some differing opinions. I mean but that's what's good about getting on here, doing this live, and going through this, and actually getting questions even from the audience if we can. But my perspective is that New Year's resolutions as a whole, I think, are a silly concept. I think they're just a concept that's supposed to be fun, and it lets you kind of look forward to the new year. Everybody says new year, new you, whatever. They have those little sayings, and it's all fun and games. But really, when it comes down to it, I think that they become silly. And the reason why I say that is because New Year's resolutions always seem to only last for maybe a month if you have the push to kind of keep going and try to make something happen. But you can't make a goal just based on a New Year's resolution. To me, New Year's resolutions are only valuable, and I say that because I do believe New Year's resolutions can be valuable, but they're only valuable if you already have something in place. If you already are doing something. Like, I can give myself a New Year's resolution that says, I don't know, maybe starting in January, I'm going to go ahead and just start bulking. I'm gonna stop worrying about, the lower calorie. I'm gonna go ahead and get into an excess, and I'm gonna bulk. That becomes a part of my workout regimen as a whole, but it doesn't basically say, this is where I start. You should never expect to start something with a New Year's resolution, because if you really wanted to start, you would have started yesterday or start today. You don't wait till the new year to start. New Year's resolutions, I don't know. Again, I may have a different opinion with you on that. I do feel like they're valuable in some forms, but as a whole, they're silly.
No, I totally agree with you, man. I believe, and there's always outliers. There's several people, they're productive for some people, for sure. I mean, there's some people, they'll get in there, they'll get in the gym, and they'll really enjoy it, and they'll stick to it. But I believe those people are 1 in 50 or 1 in 100, because I feel like most people, they just aren't ready for it. I feel like if you're ready to make a change, you're going to make a change right now, or even last week. You're not going to do it next week. You're not going to do it tomorrow. You're not going to do it next year. You're going to do it right now. Whether that change is just doing 10 push-ups rather than doing nothing at all, and then progressing from there. And then, maybe your New Year's resolution will be, like you said, I'm going to start bulking, I'm going to start cutting, or I'm going to start this different routine. I'm going to transition from only doing home workouts to going to the gym. But I feel like if you want to make a change in your life, you're going to go ahead and do it. because you feel like it's time for it to happen. I don't feel like procrastinating is beneficial in that aspect.
No, it's not. So, I'm curious. I don't know how many people we have in the chat, but I'm curious to hear from the chat. What have you guys made New Year's resolutions? Ever made them? And have you ever stuck to them? Because I'd be curious to kind of hear their side.
I'm happy to see here. We've got the chat actually popping off, and it's really making me happy. But Jonathan Wright here says they are productive for the gym owners.
Oh yeah.
I suppose that's correct for the first month. January. I'm sure you guys make a lot of money if you are a gym owner. But yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of people. I see a lot of gym promotions. New Year's, they'll do some sort of workout like group routine where they have trainers with them. They'll do like an 8-week program or something. I'm sure they make a killing, and I'm sure it gets. I'm sure the first couple of weeks are a little bit more ambiguous than the last, the last 6 weeks, because I'm sure you have a lot of people that kind of fall off the wagon and they're like, okay, I wasn't ready for all this. That's why I believe that starting small and progressing. I feel like a lot of people, they bite off way more than they can chew with New Year's resolutions. They think they're going to just change everything all in one day. Whereas I believe that, like the way I started, I was like, okay, I'm done putting this off. And I just got on the ground and I did like 50 push-ups. And I mean, back then I had to do them like 10 or 15 at a time. I couldn't do very many push-ups, but I just progressed from there. And then I started doing, like chair dips. I started adding in, various other workouts and just progressed. And within a year, I was in the gym doing, 5 day, not really a 5-day split, more of a push pull, but I was in the gym 5 to 6 days a week. And then I added in cardio like another few months after that. So I really feel like if you do make the resolution that you want to get into fitness or really with anything, you should start small with something that you can stick to and progress from there. But yeah, I do want to hear the answer to your question. If anybody in the chat has made any resolutions and stuck to them, I didn't mean to shoot your question down like that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. I just want to be able to hear from them because I know people have done it. I think we all have. And that's also something I want to be able to, admit here, right? I think we've all made resolutions. I know that I have, even though I may feel like at this time that they're silly. That's just what I've learned over time. Now, when I made resolutions, I thought they were solid, and I can't think of one myself that I stuck to. So that's why my opinions have changed over the years. What we got going on?
So, Blackbeard, he said when he was young and dumb, he said I guess he made a New Year's resolution and never kept them longer than 2 weeks. And then Ladina, I'm getting that right this time, right? Ladina?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names, guys. And yet she said, yes, I have, and it didn't work out.
Nope.
And Blackbeard, he had another message, another chat. He said, or the resolutions are so realistic that they set themselves up for failure, which is another thing that I think I actually mentioned something along those lines in the description. So I really appreciate you guys engaging in the chat, and this is awesome. I mean, I know there's only 3 people watching, but look at the chat. That's all we need really to have a show. I mean, it grows, and we can just keep the show going even with just a single person chatting with us, so it's really, I really appreciate you guys being here.
So, I'm curious to kind of get your opinion on what are the, so we're talking about today, are New Year's resolutions BS or not? I think, well, clearly you're in your description of the stream, you're basically saying that New Year's resolutions are complete BS. But what I want to know is, if we look at this very critically, are they completely BS or not? Is there any real value to making a resolution? I'm curious to kind of hear from people in the chat and even from yourself, because I feel like there's value in it. But I haven't gone into a lot of detail explaining why, but I gave a little bit of my explanation in the beginning. But I do feel like there's value in it, but it's depending on how you kind of approach it. So in the chat, are you just against resolutions completely? You think they're just totally doesn't need to happen, they're all silly, or is there real value in some sort of a New Year's resolution? What do you think? What do you think?
You want me or the
Yeah,
people in the
yeah.
chat? Okay,
I'm
so
talking
for
about,
me, I agree with Blackbeard. I feel like if you set a realistic resolution, and like you said, if you have a plan, a realistic plan, then yes, they can definitely be productive. So they're not complete BS. I guess you could say that maybe it was not really clickbait for the title, but just to kind of grab the attention. But I feel like most New Year's resolutions that people make are unrealistic. So therefore, that's why I feel like most of them are BS, because they procrastinate, and then oh, I meant New Year's Day of next year, and then you start hearing the excuses. Well, it was just too much. Okay, well, why don't you just start with half of what you were doing? Instead of doing that, they just quit altogether. So I feel
right.
like like Blackbeard said, he said they set you up for failure, and that's a thing. That's something I had touched on before. But yeah, I really believe that they definitely can. They can be very productive. For certain people who set the right expectations up for themselves. But I just feel like a lot of people, like you said, they think they're going to flip a switch and all of a sudden they're going to be, you know, a 7-day a week gym goer, and they're going to be ripped by the end of the year. So
Right.
I feel like it really comes down to the situation and the New Year's resolution in itself. And here we got
Absolutely.
chats. We got Blackbeard.
Let's see.
My philosophy, and only mine, I'm not starting a new year with a lie, because I know me and my habits and my limitations. That's being honest with yourself, man. That's really,
Fair.
that's admirable. And that's what, I wish more people in the world were like that. I wish they would be honest with themselves and know what they, know themselves better than that, better than to set themselves up for failure. And then,
Right.
Jonathan, if you don't set goals and keep them throughout the year, it's doubtful someone will keep them for New Year's. A disciplined person that knows how to write a realistic goal can be successful. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm loving the
So,
engagement.
I mean, it sounds like at least the guys in the chat so far today, they're really in line with exactly what I'm thinking. So here's the thing: New Year's resolutions aren't useless. Uh,
Right,
it's the goals, it's the unrealistic goals that become useless to the individual. It's like what Blackbeard said. You got to know yourself, know your limitations. Don't promise yourself or make a false promise to yourself that you're going to do something that you know damn well you're not going to follow through with. And so I think the New Year's resolution, the whole idea of it is just it's a more glorified, uh, I guess, uh, type of goal setting that people do to themselves all year long, um, where they set an unrealistic goal for themselves, or they look at a magazine, or look at a commercial, or look at a YouTube channel, and they see a person, and they see that as the idealistic, I guess, physical form, and they say, "Well,
right,
I'm going to get there," but they don't even know step one, right? They don't know. They don't have a clue what we do as athletes, or just weekend warriors go through to get what we have, right? So you can't go from completely undisciplined in your diet and exercise to thinking you're all of a sudden just going to flip a switch and become this disciplined person. And so no matter whether you make a New Year's resolution or just some random goal in the middle of the year that has nothing to do with the new year, if you make it an unrealistic goal and make that first step unrealistic to take, you're just simply not going to follow through. And you also have to mitigate your expectations and knowing what you can expect to see as you kind of work through your goals, or trying to get to that end goal. And this doesn't have to do just with fitness, but since we're on a fitness channel, obviously we're going to be focusing on that. But it's just about goal setting and knowing how to mitigate your expectations so that you don't set unrealistic goals and end up failing within a week or two, because that's inevitably what's going to happen. It happens to me, and it happens to me even to this day. I'm far from perfect. I set some really stupid goals for myself, and I think I'm going to go get it. And then when I get into them, I realize I don't even know what the heck I'm doing, and I end up stopping. But you can tell where I stop and you can tell where I continue. Consistency will always win. I always say that.
Right. And Jonathan, he asked a question. He said, let me ask you this: if someone follows through on say 30 to 40% of their goal, what was it worth it? He says, "What is worth it?" I think what he meant to say, was it worth it? And my opinion is absolutely. Even if they only follow through 15%, that's still 15% more than what they were doing before, and maybe they can progress from there. So I would say absolutely. But I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah.
And
So
answer.
let me add to that, Chris. I mean, I agree with you. So here's the thing: if they only follow through with 30%, 30 or 40% of their goal, the only question is that good enough for the person? Now, for me and you, Chris, sitting here, like you said, if they even completed 10 or 15% of their goal, that's awesome. So that could be motivating. That would motivate maybe me or motivate Jonathan here, because we realize sometimes we don't always achieve 100% of the goal, but getting a piece of it is worth it to continue to the next step, right? You gotta give yourself a little bit of grace when you're trying to achieve goals. Give yourself the small victories. You don't always need to hit 100%. So, but anyway, to go back to what Jonathan said, if they achieve 30 to 40%, is it worth it? The only answer I have to that is the person who did it, is it worth it to them? Because I think that someone like me or Chris or you, Jonathan, if we achieve 30 to 40% of our goal, we would be motivated to continue. But to the average Joe, probably not. They're going to see that as failure, because it's mostly failure, right? 70% failure if you achieve 30% of your goal. So they definitely see that as failure. So no, it's not worth it to the normal Joe. That's why you need to set realistic steps so that you can reach those first couple of steps almost at 100%. It motivates you to go further, I think, is what needs to happen. 30, 40% can become 40 or 50 and so on. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Blackbeard 100%. All of us in this chat I think we are in alignment on that we would be motivated to continue. But I'm looking at this from the perspective of the common person. And I don't mean that common meaning they're stupid or they're idiotic or don't know what they're doing. I just mean common as in they're trying to set fitness goals. We're talking about fitness. Trying to set a fitness goal from somebody who's done nothing to get to something. There's a whole myriad of steps in the middle, about 1,000 steps. Chris, tell me if I'm lying. How many steps did it take you to get from where you were 5 years ago to where you are today? There's a whole lot in between.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. And a lot of it is not meeting the goals that you expect, but still continuing on anyway, because that's why I really enjoy Coach Greg's aspect on things. He tells people to look at your dream physique and aim to get halfway there, because that's, more realistic. And that's what he tells people. And that's what I tell people too, because it's a great way to look at things. If you are looking at your dream physique, but your genetics don't even halfway match the person's genetics of the dream physique that you're looking at, then no, you're not going to be able to get there. Even if you took all the gear in the world, adhered to the most strict diet, we're not going to be able to look like Chris Bumstead, but maybe we could get halfway there or 40% of the way there. It's still tremendously better. You're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel a lot happier about yourself, and you're still going to be able to say, look at where I began and look at where I am now. But so I was going.
Ladina's got a good one here, man. I was reading her comment. So she was saying that she and her friend had joined a gym and were quote unquote fat shamed, right? And they never returned. Well, Chris, I don't know about you, but I've been going to gyms for so many years in my life, right? So, Ladina, all I can say to you is screw them. Yeah. I mean, F them every which way and the other. Who freaking cares what they think? Honestly, that kind of stuff, man, you can get my blood pressure up, my blood boiling real quick. That stuff gets on my nerves. Because here's the thing. What I can assure you, Ladina, is don't give up on gyms. Okay? Because those idiots, whoever the heck they were, they represent about 0.001% of the gym population. Because I can assure you, personally, when I'm in the gym and I see folks in there kicking ass, who may look physically out of shape, right? I'm just saying physically. They're going in there just to try to get started. Dude, I love seeing that. I encourage those people. I help them when they ask for it. I always am willing to help. And I am very happy for those people. And I can assure you, Ladina, that 99% of every other gym goer in there feels the exact same way I do. So F whoever the heck fat shamed you. They're full of they're what's wrong with it, right? They're what's wrong with I don't know the gym environment. The one bad apple screws it all.
Yeah, see, she says it was her New Year's resolution. And see, what I think is I bet those people I bet they didn't even stay in. I bet it was somebody who just happened to have a different body type than you. And they were trying to make fun of you to make themselves feel better. Because I know when I went to the gym, I was a friggin' beanpole. I could barely put up like 85 pounds on the bench press. And I was, I was very self-conscious. I was very, what is it? The anxiety you get from being in the public,
anxious.
And but all I mostly experienced, of course, you kind of feel like there's a lot more people snickering behind your back than there actually are. Really,
absolutely.
And I've seen, the biggest dudes in there come up and be like, "Hey, man, you need a spot," and they're offering help. And I, was intimidated by these guys because I'm like, oh, they see me in here and they see how weak I am. They think I'm, what am I doing here, right? What is this? Well, look at this guy. What's he doing here? And really, it couldn't be further from the truth. Really, a true fitness connoisseur is going to be happy as hell to see you in there and making a change in your life. So I would say exactly what Michael said. Screw them. Because whoever those people were, I bet you could go back to that gym and they're not even there anymore. I bet they're sitting their ass back on the couch and they just so happen to have a different body type than you. So they had a different starting point and that made them feel better about themselves to make fun of you.
Right.
So, they can shove it.
Totally shove it. And I'm going to go ahead and add in just a side note. What you see on the outside is not what you get on the inside. A beautiful physique does not make a healthy physique.
Nope.
It's not what happens 100% of the time. And also an unfit looking physique, I guess the way I could put it, does not make an unhealthy person either. Okay. So what I'm trying to promote here, I'm sure Chris, that's why we do a lot of these things together. Chris and I are promoting health and fitness, right? Yeah, it is nice to look pretty. We all like to look sharp in the mirror and look sharp for our significant others or going out at the club or whatever, if you're single. But ultimately, it's health and fitness. Health comes first, right? So, Ladina, get your butt back over there in that gym, and I guarantee you that homeboy is already gone, or them people, whoever they are, they're gone. The gym atmosphere tends to weed those idiots out. Trust me, we don't like them either. They're judgmental about everybody. It's because of their own insecurities. It has nothing to do with you. So do what you got to do. Straight up, do what you got to do. Screw them.
And I like what Blackbeard said. He said it, and they were done 2 weeks later, and that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, and
exactly.
Jonathan, he said, F the haters, Ladina. I love seeing people work hard to improve themselves. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And Ladina says that she's telling Blackbeard that they need to hit the gym together. I think that sounds wonderful. People, when you have a when you have a gym partner to keep you motivated, to keep you, you're saying, oh, I don't want to go today. Those people made me feel insecure yesterday. You got somebody to tell you, screw those people. You're working, you're only competing with your former self. That's the only person you're competing with. You're not competing with anybody else in the gym. You're just working to be a little bit better than you were yesterday, a little bit better than you were last week, a little bit more healthy than you were last month.
Yes. And that leads to a very good point, Chris. And I'm glad you said that. Comparison will kill your positivity. Never compare yourself to anybody else. And on top of that, I'm going to say, don't compare yourself to the you of 10 years ago, because I'm 41 years old now. Okay. 41. If I dared to compare myself to my 21-year-old self while I was in the gym, do you think that's motivating? It is so demotivating. It's not even funny. So comparison will rob you of your happiness. So what I do, my mindset when I go into the gym is that only I know if I gave everything that day. Now, because some days are going to be good, some days are going to be bad. Chris, tell me I'm lying. So, I can go in the gym yesterday and have a killer day and then be motivated to go in the gym today and suck. Tell me, Blackbeard, has it not happened to you? Jonathan, has it not happened to you? Ladina, everybody in the chat, tell me you don't have ups and downs on your days, right?
Absolutely.
So what keeps you going, right? What lets me know? So let's say I had a good day yesterday. I go in and have a bad day today. I'm not going to let that quote unquote bad day take me down. The way I measure myself is, did I push all the way to the finish line? Only I know if I did. Now, you can lie to yourself and you know damn well if you're lying. But did you push yourself all the way to the finish line today? If you did better. I don't care what weight you lifted or how many reps you did. If you pushed it all the way today, you did all you could today. And that's all I do when I try to go in the gym. I tell myself, if I'm going to the gym, I'm going 100% today. Or I'm not doing it. Why waste your time? And I push it all the way to the finish line, no matter how good or bad I do. And then I had a good day.
Yep. Yeah,
Sorry.
we just have a lot of agreement in the chat, and I see some more people rolling in. Welcome, guys. Happy to have you here.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I texted you, what was it, like 2 days ago? And I was like, man, these squats are killing me today. I almost fell forward with 2 plates on.
Yeah.
And then, a year ago, I was lucky to squat 185 pounds. So I'm still making progress. And where I think, comparing yourself to a very long time ago can be different from person to person. Like for me, 10 years ago, let's see, I was 19, almost 20 years old. I was on drugs, drinking, partying every night. So
sure.
I've made tremendous amount of progress. I've grown as a person. I've become a father. But I think as we get older and we start to kind of wear down, I feel like you should probably just compare, like you said, are you still giving it your all? Or is Coach Greg, I keep reverting back, stealing Coach Greg's quotes, but he always says, train harder than last time, so train harder than you did yesterday. Basically give it your all every day, because
I think that's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
Because it's tough to say always train harder than you did yesterday. Now, I like Coach Greg, but that's a tough one to swallow, because that's kind of an impossible thing if you take that quote literally.
Yeah.
Right? But I think really what he's saying is just give it 100%. That's all I'm saying. I know that when I go into the gym, I'm giving 100%. And as long as I did that, I know when I leave, I've given it, then I'm good. But if I know when I've slacked. Now, we've all had slack days. Chris, tell me you haven't slacked.
Yeah. Oh, no. I will. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it. I'm just like, but the thing is, I feel like getting in there and doing something's still better than doing nothing. So that's not an encouragement to slack, because for me, I'll have days where I'm just on top of the world in the gym. I'm like pulling more weight on deadlift than I ever have, or I'm pulling more, getting another rep where I used to not get another rep. You feel like amazing, but then you'll come in the next week and you feel like you're back to square one. But the thing is, there's so many factors that factor into it. The amount of sleep you have, the amount of glycogen stores you have in your muscles, what you ate the past few days. There's so many factors that factor into the amount of strength that you can put out in that exact moment, in that exact training session, that you can't really beat yourself up over maybe falling back 5 pounds on your bench press or something from one day.
Right.
Because what you're doing is you're still pushing your muscles to exhaustion. You're still going to recover, and you're still going to build. In my perspective, in my opinion, you're still going to make progress, because you're still going. I like to train to failure. I mean, obviously not on every set on everything, but I like to work towards failure, beyond failure on some sets, do drop sets, things like that. Working more into more advanced training techniques. I've been at it for a little over 3 years now. So, but yeah, I believe that as long as, because I can't remember if it was you or my bodybuilding buddy from Canada, I actually wanted him to get on the show with us today, but he's at work. They got him working on New Year's Eve. But I asked him, if you exhaust your muscles, but you're lifting less weight, did you still build more muscle? It's because, you know, your central nervous system, your cardiovascular system, whatever it is, it makes you, you know, reach muscle fatigue more quickly than you would normally. So say I do 225 for 6 the week before, but the next week I hit failure at 225 for 5. Does that mean that I didn't make any progress? I mean, I still feel like I tore my muscles down. They still have to recover. Are they still is that still building, you know, is that still achieving the same goal, or is it actually regression? That's my question to you.
So, that's a good question, actually. I say that, I mean, it really is a good question. So the answer to that is your body doesn't read the weights on the plates.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do push to exhaustion, if you actually do get a hypertrophy and you push to the finish line, like we were saying before, that's progression. Okay, we can't always expect to progress strength and power. There's not an infinite amount of strength and power. We can't just continue to always be stronger and stronger, but we can always continue to be better and better. And what I mean by that is, once you've reached maybe like a strength plateau, then you have to start working into like a more of an endurance type of workout to where you can do it more. You're not going to continue to go up and one day bench 800 pounds. It's not going to happen, but there are so many more ways to actually progress and become a better athlete in the gym and in just your everyday life. So yes, to answer you, that's a long way of saying it, a long way to talk around it. But yes, if you, as long as you push the muscles to their finish line, yes, that's progression. Absolutely. And you can expect some sort of strength progression, even if it's just tiny increments. In the beginning, it's so awesome when you're a beginning lifter. You got all those the newbie gains, man. I mean, you could just jump 10 pounds a week, man. Just pow, 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 and just crushing it. Now, dude, I don't jump weight like that. I don't. Progressive overload for me is kind of silly, and I only mean that not silly like literally, but it's silly compared to like someone who's only been lifting for 5 or 7 years or something. Their progressive overload is going to be much different. They're going to think, man, I'm going to pass this dude in no time. No, man. One day you're going to start reaching the top of your tower, right? And then you start slowing down. So no, Chris, I mean, you keep going, man. Thing is, if you're asking that question to me, and that's literally what's happened to you, my advice to you would be, don't sweat it, man. Keep moving, because you're progressing when you do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't mean to.
We need to hit the gym together.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked that one again. But Blackbeard, he said, just do your best for today and do not compare yourself to others. Absolutely. I know I feel like many people, especially newbies, they're always comparing themselves to everybody else in the gym. And that's just, something that we've already kind of discussed. But you can't do that just because everybody has a different starting point. Everybody's got different genetics. They've got different lifestyles that they've they're trying to change their life from different points. Everybody, I mean, there's so many different variables that come into it. So you got to just look at, this is where I am right now. This is where I want to be. And you need to set a long-term goal and you need to set short-term goals. Short-term goals that add up to your long-term goals. And don't look at anybody else in the gym. If you've got a training partner, that's awesome. They help for motivation. I myself, I've had a few training partners, but I figured out that I did better on my own. It wasn't that I, just didn't like the person or anything like that. It was just we had different outlooks on how to train. My first training partner, he was you got to lift big to get big. You got to eat big to get big. And he wanted me to, push weights that I couldn't even push every day. And he wanted me, I was in there hurting myself basically as a newbie because he had that mindset that you have to, lift big to get big. And he let me sit there and fail and fail and fail. And finally he pulled the weight up off of me. And I'm like, hey, dude, my shoulder's sore now. Like, not a good
Right.
sore.
Right.
And
Right.
so I started at first, I was listening to Athlete X. And I'm not going to knock him too much because he does have some good content. He's got some good information to share, but I feel like he's not being wholeheartedly truthful. I feel like he's really just trying to sell workout programs and stuff. But I mean, I'm not going to knock the dude too much. He's crazy shredded, right? But I mean, that's actually how I found Coach Greg. I found Coach Greg because he made the video discussing Athlete X using fake weights. And I literally saw that video and I was like, oh, look, here's some what was it? I was making fun of his voice. I was like, oh, this guy's just trying to, run his mouth and get clout by, saying stuff. And then I watched I watched and heard out his entire video and I was like, And then I watched a few more videos and I went and unsubscribed from Athlete X. And then Coach Greg was all I watched for probably a whole year straight. And now I still watch Coach Greg. But I'm more, I don't want to say I just developed my own training style. I just know kind of what I'm working towards and what I need to do to get there. So I feel like I could, if I had the patience, I could create training programs now. I don't know if you have to be a certified trainer to sell training programs, but I feel like I see people selling them that are definitely not certified. But I feel like I could probably create some pretty decent ones because the truth is it depends on the person. I don't feel like there's a one size fits all with training programs. I feel like they need to be pretty specific to that person, to what their goals are, to where they're starting at, and where they're coming from, where they're at in life, basically, what their mindset is, what their discipline is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the sign of a good trainer anyway. If you can meet somebody where they are. The thing is there is no silver bullet for any one person, and each individual needs an individual program. And then on top of that, and then when you drill down even further, that individual needs something that is very specific, from week to week, month to month, and then year to year. As long as, as your fitness lifestyle, I say lifestyle, as it progresses, you're going to start to see it is cyclical. You go into cycles and you do different things for weeks, months, and years at a time. And it all changes for that individual. So, what I'm curious about, I don't even know why I'm thinking this, but just in the chat, if you guys are still here, I want to hear, what is your most motivating muscle group? Like, what do you love going in the gym and lifting? It's just like, I call it my pretty day. Like when I want to go in, I just want to look pretty. What muscle group do I just really love lifting? I want to hear what you guys love lifting in the gym. What motivates you to get in there? And maybe you might be on a low and you want to go into the gym and say, screw it, man, I'm going to kill biceps, man, because my bicep looks so pretty, and that remotivates you to keep going. What's y'all's pretty muscle group?
Okay, I want to answer Ladina's question first. She said, who would we suggest for a woman trainer? Now, if you're looking to hire a trainer, what really sucks, John Meadows was the best. And he trained, Coach Greg, he trains women too, but he's outrageously expensive, so I can't suggest him to you. I can't say, but what I would say is I would go to John Meadows' channel, and they're still posting, content on his channel, and just go in the comments and say, hey, I'm looking for a trainer. I need a solid, reasonable trainer, because there's all kinds of women. There's astounding female bodybuilders that were trained by John Meadows. So there's going to be people there that I would guess probably could point you in the right direction. I wish I could help you out more on that. But really, I'd give it a shot. I feel like the training, definitely is different for women in certain aspects, but you're still basically working towards health and fitness, right? You're still trying to achieve a goal. So we would still start, see where you're starting at, see we'd find your calorie maintenance. We'd see if you're trying to lose weight, build muscle, whatever you're trying to do. And we would develop a workout routine week by week that would help you achieve those goals. So really, men and women, yeah, it's different, but it's still a lot of it's the same. That's my opinion. I'll let Michael take it from here, and then we'll follow up because we've got the other, we've got what you asked coming in.
Yeah.
Chat
Yeah,
as well.
it was just more of a fun question, but I definitely like getting the questions out of the chat first. I mean, I like the engagement. So to piggyback on what Chris said, Ladina, honestly, I've got nothing to offer on that. I don't personally follow any female athletes on YouTube, and not because I think they're any less competent. To be honest with you, I'll add this so you can see where I'm coming from. When I when I was in my 20s and I was really working hard and bulking and doing a lot of in my football career, doing things for football and things like that. I actually had a female trainer. So difference between male and female, when we're talking biologically, is stark. But when we're talking about getting in the gym, a muscle is a muscle, and it's going to respond. It's just a matter of how it's going to respond and what you can plan to get out of that muscle or get out of that fitness regimen. I mean, obviously, men are built to be more, powerful and fast, right? Women doesn't mean women can't be powerful and fast. They can be powerful and fast for a woman. And you work a man out to get bigger and stronger, a man gets bigger and stronger. You work a woman out to get bigger and stronger, they get bigger and stronger. So I don't think that you need to worry if you just want a female trainer, fine. Sometimes people you're a girl, you want a girl to train you, perfect. But I'm telling you, I was a man in my 20s, and I had that little girl training me. She was a little bitty thing, but she was a firecracker, and that woman beat the shit out of my ass, So it's just a matter of who has the best workout regimen for you. Who do you think understands you and your goals the best, and then go with that. So that's all I can say. For the female side, I don't know.
I actually do. I actually know exactly where you need to go, Ladina, and I'm going to screen share. But first, while I'm getting her pulled up, so Blackbeard said arms and chest for him.
Yeah, man.
Jonathan said, y'all don't want to know about my pretty muscle group.
Oh, come on now. No, we don't want to know.
And Blackbeard said your lips, and wouldn't you like to know, Jonathan says. But for Ladina, give me just a second here.
Oh my God. It don't take long before this deteriorates into madness with these guys on.
Yeah. See, the person I'm gonna direct you towards, because I enjoy the hell out of her videos, and she has one hell of an outlook on life. And I think I heard you say something about, you mentioned that you were being fat shamed, so I'm assuming that you're looking to lose weight. So I think that she would be fantastic for you. And she makes training programs. She's got a group. She's got a group that you can join. It's like a support group, and it's very reasonable. It's not like Coach Greg going to be ridiculous. But all right, let's see if I can set this up. So let's share screen. Okay.
While you're looking it up, I want to thank everybody in the chat today. We've had great engagement, great questions, great comments. So I really appreciate y'all joining us today.
Okay, so here she is. Her name is Michelle McDaniel, and she's got two different channels. So you've got My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You, and that's her main channel. And then she's got where is it? This one, Michelle McDaniel After Dark. I'm subscribed to both of them. She does cosplay and all kinds of stuff. She's she's a hilarious person. I absolutely love her outlook on life. I don't know if you've watched her, Michael, but she's freaking awesome if you ask me. But yeah, she's got training programs. She used to be obese. She used to have really bad binge eating problems. And now she's just, she's muscular. I'll just pull up. I don't know if I want want to do this one.
Give a little, grow a lot this holiday season.
No, hold on.
Then give Noggin for 99 cents a month for 3 months. Access
Sorry,
educational games, books,
My
and
computer's
videos.
running slowly because we're streaming and everything. Oh, Peppa Pig, awesome. No, I wanted to do a different. I wanted to just give you a quick little glimpse into kind of what she does. But if
Yeah,
you just,
I'm gonna say I agree with you because I'm subscribed to her too, so I think she'd be a good fit.
Model Tess Holiday revealing her battle with anorexia.
but
The
she,
35-year-old
my man,
model took to Twitter to reveal that she's
I'm
quit,
just gonna.
sick,
I'll let
and
you
in
know.
recovery. Model Tess
Can
Holiday.
we pause, please? What is my computer is losing its
There you
mind?
go.
Okay.
Red hair and
Oh my
body
gosh! Come
positivity.
on now. There. All right. So if you go down into her description, she has. You can follow her on Instagram. You can actually DM her on Instagram, and I would bet that she'll message you back if you're looking for help. See, here is her support group, 12-week gym program, fat burning program.
Very
My
cool.
love says, and there's a link right there. She's got products. She's got her own protein donut company. But she doesn't have sponsors. She's her own sponsor, which is what I hope to achieve someday. But yeah, she's really got a really good outlook on it, and I think she would be able to help you out quite a bit. And I really enjoy her videos, but she does have training programs. She's got a lot of proof, if you will, a lot of testimonies that show that what she does actually works. It'll teach you how to stick to a plan that will work for you and help you achieve your goals. So I would encourage you to look up and subscribe to both of her channels and to check out and to look into her training programs and joining that support group.
Agreed. I forgot about her. I'm glad you brought her up. I'm subscribed to her as well. I think she has a great channel. Both of them. She's hilarious to watch from an entertainment perspective. She's also knowledgeable in the fitness. And I mean, who's going to turn down a protein donut? I'm just going to be honest.
Man. So Blackbeard said he had a track coach that was a woman and female drill instructor, and both worked him over. And he says he still has nightmares.
I'm telling you, man.
Ladina says, thank you, Ladina.
Cool.
I appreciate you being here. And I mean, you're welcome to. Anytime we're having a show, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody in the chat, and I appreciate the engagement, man. I don't think we've ever had a chat popping off the way this one is. And so Ladina, she says she's gonna check her out. And then Jonathan Wright, he says, how many days a week would you do HIIT per muscle group when you're taking the muscle past failure? Are you talking about HIIT card? I hope you're not talking about HIIT cardio. Are you talking about HIIT cardio?
I think he is.
Yeah, he is. See, for me with HIIT cardio, I'm not going to say it's not good. It's definitely, I feel like I usually do steady state cardio. I'll run a couple miles or something on the treadmill. I got a trail right behind my house, a running trail, walking trail, bike trail, whatever you want to call it. I've got a bicycle. But the way I'll do it is, especially when I'm on the trail, it's a little bit more difficult to do on the treadmill because you got to turn it up, turn it back down. But I'll go steady for quite a while, and then when I'm getting towards the end of my run, I'll just go balls to the wall as fast as I can and hard, and and then I'll start slowing back down, and then I'll walk for a little bit, and then I'll kind of run a few sprints, which is pretty much HIIT cardio. And there's so many forms of HIIT cardio. I don't know if you know what a slam ball is, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Slam ball, pick the ball, slam it. The heavy ass medicine ball. That is the most intense form of HIIT cardio I've ever done in my life. It was crazy how fast that thing will just exhaust you. And that's a great form of HIIT cardio. For me, it depends on your goals, how many days you want to do your HIIT, your muscle group. If you're trying to lose weight, I suggest more hypertrophy workouts, because the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is going to be, and the higher your calorie maintenance is going to be, therefore the more calories you're going to burn. But obviously you want to do cardio. The reason I do cardio is for heart health, cardiovascular health, and to increase my endurance. That's why I do cardio. It's not for any kind of weight loss or to cut or anything like that. It's more to increase my endurance and to improve my heart health and cardiovascular health overall. And I believe it improves your central nervous system, like the limits that you can go to. As far like, I believe that pushing yourself, doing HIIT cardio or doing regular cardio, however you want to put it, pushing yourself beyond the limits there will help you push yourself beyond the limits in the weight room as well. That's what I believe, because that's just what I've experienced personally.
Sure.
And I believe it has to do with your central nervous system and the limits that it is, you can go to. He says for lifting, say you destroy your chest with drops and assisted lifts past failure, when would you do it again? What I do is I do a strength day for chest. So I'll lift up to maybe 5x5s, and then I'll do a drop set, because usually I'm training by myself. So I have to go past failure. I have to rack the bar and then just hurry up and rip the weights off and go back down to like 135 and just pump out as many as I can. And then maybe, drop the plates and then put some 25s on, you go 95 as many as I can. But I don't ever get to really do forced reps or anything like that, or assisted reps. But for me, I do a strength day, and then I'll do more of a like endurance and hypertrophy day, because so on that, say you destroy your chest with drops, I'm assuming that's going to be your hypertrophy day. I do 2 a week. I do a push-pull routine, push-pull legs, and usually it consists of my push days. I'll do usually bench press or incline bench, shoulder press, chest flies, and then some kind of delt raises, side lateral raises. And then my pull days will consist of either pull-ups. A lot of the times it's every 2 weeks, it's pull-ups supersetted with deadlifts, which I believe is added all kinds of just thickness to my back, because I do the deadlifts, and then as soon as I'm done with the deadlifts, I go over and do as many pull-ups as I can. But back to your question, I'm just going to let you take this one, Michael, because I'm all over the place over here. So sorry about that.
About specifically, destroying the chest one day with drops, then going with assisted all the way past failure.
Okay.
So he does MMA, right? So for someone like Jonathan, I'd do it again as soon as you can, because that's the kind of athlete that you are. You need that type of intensity. You need to be able to have explosive intensity over a long duration of time. That's what HIIT trains the body to do. It trains you to be very explosive for a long duration of time, right? As you do it in kind of incremental steps, right? As you move forward. So for a fighter, do it immediately. I'd do it the next training session. Do it again. As long as you're getting the type of progress you want out of it. Now, I understand you're not going to get your power and your strength out of that kind of training. You're going to get a lot of the cardio and a lot of the explosive type of anaerobic benefits from it. So you want to balance that out. Make sure that you're staying as strong and as powerful as you want to be, as well as how anaerobically you excel, right, in that particular fashion. So for someone like maybe Chris, no, I wouldn't recommend he do that a whole heck of a lot. I mean, unless I don't know something about you, unless there's something about you I don't know, Chris. But you're not a fighter. You're not somebody who requires that type of stamina. So no. And then let's point this at maybe Ladina then, since another person in the chat. Ladina, should she do HIIT? Absolutely, because the benefits of HIIT are your cardiovascular benefits as well as your fat burning. Obviously, you are pushing the body past failure at that point, so it is dipping deep into its reserves, and fat is the reserve. So, so for someone like Ladina, who may want to lose a few pounds. I'm only assuming because I know Ladina and I know Blackbeard, and I can also say for most of us men, we always think that our wives and our ladies always want to lose weight, but they look just fine. But as for Ladina's question, yeah, do HIIT. As for Jonathan, do it as often as you can. But for me, I wouldn't do it. I'm trying to maintain more strength and power and size because, as when I get into 50s and 60s, it's going to be harder to keep it. So I'm not trying to burn that off right now. I'm trying to actually kind of add a little bit as I go into my 50s and 60s. New Year program for those 2-week gym rats. Opinion on New Year fad programs for the 2-week gym rats. My opinion on it is the program is only as successful as the individual. I can make the best program known to man. I could write one up that would just be badass for you. But if you're not ready to go implement it, it's just as useless as a trash program. It doesn't matter. And oppositely, I could turn a trash program into something that's beautiful because I have the discipline to go follow it through or to expand on the program myself. So my opinion on the New Year Fat program, it's only as good as the individual implementing it. That's my opinion. What do you think, Chris?
I feel like, well, the 2-week gym rats. So, I mean, they're only going to be there for 2 weeks. I feel like that the program, like the ones the gyms are advertising, these 8-week boot camps, those are the ones I'm seeing at my gym. They're doing 8-week boot camps. And they got all kinds of different people coming in, and they're all doing the same thing. And I feel like that's not ideal. I feel like you need to, you don't even have to hire a trainer. You just need to know what you need to do to achieve to start from where you are starting from. You personally are starting from. I'm not going to knock the 8-week boot camps. Maybe the people, half of them will stay motivated enough to stick to it. But after that 8-week boot camp, if they've gone from sitting on the couch for 5 years and they make it all the way through, I feel like they're going to be so exhausted that they're going to hate it and they're not going to want to continue. I feel like they're going to do, instead of 2 weeks, it'll be 2 months. But I feel like those 8-week boot camps, I feel like they set people up for failure. I feel like people that are already in the gym and want to take things to the next level, those 8-week boot camps are more ideal for people like that because they aren't starting from just sitting on the couch for the past 5 years. They're already in the gym. They're already, but I feel like, a workout program, the fad programs, they're like fad diets, they're cookie cutter. They're not going to be very beneficial for most individuals. The average person, they're not going to be beneficial for
100%.
because, like I said, it's not. It depends on the person, and it depends on their level of discipline and their level of basically ambition. Like how much do they want it? Some people will go from sitting on the couch, and they'll set a New Year's resolution. They'll sign up for the 8-week boot camp, and they'll go in and kill themselves. I mean, they feel like they're dying. And then maybe they take a week off after that, but they're like, you know what? I feel better. 8 weeks. That's enough to make up somebody that's been sitting on the couch for 5 years. That's enough to make a tremendous difference. Not in the way they look so much. Sure, they're going to change. They're going to lose a few pounds. They're going to feel a little better, but they're going to feel tremendously better because going from tremendously out of shape to even, I don't know, not even like a quarter of the way into shape. Like say, what do you define in shape as? It's hard to explain. Just progressing for me, progressing an internal, just better feeling. It drives more ambition into you. You want to get out and do things more. You want to get up off the couch. You want to get outside. You feel happier. You feel just your body produces more natural energy. because you're not sitting on the couch anymore. So, but the fad, that adjective part of the program, that really, just, some people, sure, maybe that'll work. Most people, I doubt it.
Mm-mm. I agree.
So Blackbeard, he says, dadgummit, come on now. I think they can be potentially dangerous to a newbie or a resolution maker. I mean, if they're very intense, absolutely. Yes, they could be. They could depend, somebody who's got high blood pressure, they're severely obese, they could go in there and have a stroke trying to keep up with everybody else, So it really just knowing your own limits and knowing where you're starting from. That's why I tell people that are like severely out of shape, severely obese, as long as you can get up and walk, start by walking to the mailbox and back. You can walk to the end of your driveway and walk back. You've done more today than you did yesterday. The next day, do it twice. Progress. I mean, maybe even not the next day. Maybe if you're like severely obese, morbidly obese, get up and walk around your living room a few times and then sit back down. And if you're morbidly obese, that's probably more than you've been doing already. But if you can already, you're still mobile, you can walk around, you don't have to have a scooter to get around or anything like that. Just do more than you did yesterday, or do more than you did last week, do more than you did 3 days ago. Small changes over time add up to, you wouldn't believe. I was 154 pounds soaking wet, drugged out, dried up. I think I'm like 203 right now, and I'm probably around 13% body fat. So you can, do the math on how much of that's muscle mass. And I feel like night and day difference. Used to, I didn't even want to get out of bed every day. I didn't, even if I had the drugs I wanted, I'd still just want to lay in bed all day and not do anything at all. Barely even, no ambition to go to work, no ambition to go make any money further, nothing. But now I'm happy. I've got my family, I've got a family. I'm a father. I've got a beautiful woman that loves me and is faithful to me. Imagine that, not many people can have that. Not many people have that. And I've really been practicing a lot more gratitude lately as well, because I'm happy because I had so many friends die from overdoses that I'm still here. And I say every day that the gym and my son saved my life, because that's the truth. I might have got a little off topic. I'm really bad about that. Sorry, guys. Physically and mentally, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm going to add to what you said, Chris. So when you talk about getting started and knowing your limits, I think the major problem is that when you're first getting started, you don't know your limits. So that's what makes things so dangerous if you push too hard, too fast, too quickly. Someone like myself, I know my limits. Jonathan knows his limits. You know your limits. Blackbeard. We all probably know our limits, and it's because we have had at least in the past a level of athleticism or health and fitness lifestyle, and we are currently in one. So we've pushed our bodies, and we know where our finish lines are, and we know when we're breaking through the wall, going a little bit further than we usually do. But then ultimately, we know what the final finish line is. We know when to say, okay, I'm done, or my body's about to drop, and I have no say in the situation. So when people first get started, though, they don't know their limits. So I say, if you're just getting started, if you're someone watching this on the playback, right, and you're just wanting to get started, my advice that I would give is you do need to seek professional advice, right? You need to know exactly how to get started for where you are in your life right now. I don't know your health situation. I don't know if you're morbidly obese or just a little bit overweight and a little out of shape. There's an ocean of difference. There's a vastness of difference between those two, and so you really just need to seek professional help on it. First, foremost, if you want to talk to your doctor, they're going to tell you what they think your limitations are.
That's
And
what I was going
then
to say.
on top of that, you go get a trainer. You go get a trainer. And the beauty of YouTube and the technology these days is you don't need to always pay for a trainer up front. You can kind of go to my channel or Chris's channel or some of these other fitness channels and kind of get your advice from there and start kind of moving through a workout regimen until you reach a point where you feel like you're confident, and now you can go pay for a trainer and take it to the next level. But it's a very sticky situation. We're trying to give advice to just the general public as far as, you know, how to get started and go through a workout or a fitness routine, because not everybody knows their limits, and I don't think it's not safe. I couldn't do it in good conscience and tell someone to just know your limits and go for it. I can't say that. That's not fair.
No,
That's not fair.
see,
So
well, I was going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just going to say, definitely. I forgot that I should have covered this in the beginning of when we first started talking about the newbies in the beginning, but always consult with your doctor before you introduce any, intense activity. Consult with your doctor. Ask them, what do you think I should do? Most doctors go to the gym and they're fit and they know, my doctor, she's an avid fitness connoisseur, and so is her husband. And, I talked to her, I obviously already know my limits, but I've talked to her to everything between gear use and everything, because her husband's familiar with PEDs. I actually had to teach her a few things as far as it comes to PEDs, because there were ones that she didn't know about, like SARMs and growth hormone secretagogue called MK677. But always consult with your doctor. And if you're a beginner, please stay away from any performance enhancers. You do not even need them. I didn't need them. I could have waited another 5 years, but I was just too impatient. I've never been a patient person. And now basically just I run low dose tests because I'm afraid if I PCT at this point. I mean, I had my natural levels checked, and they were right. My free test, my total test was just under 500. And for a 20, I think I was 27 at the time. That's not ideal, but it's not so bad that I needed HRT. But of course, me being, I think I was 19 months into my fitness journey. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. And I just jumped on test. But now I run very low dose testosterone, roughly around 200 milligrams a week. And sometimes if my blood pressure is getting up or anything like that, I'll drop it down to something as low as 140 milligrams a week, just enough to maintain a steady, I think my total test when I do get my blood work done, if I'm running 140 a week, it's usually around 700. So that's, ideal for a fit, healthy person that's not on gear. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. But consult your doctor, and there are so many. I mean, anybody from Coach Greg does phone consultations. I think Michelle may even do them. Michelle McDaniel. I know Ryan Ankrum does them, and Coach Greg's are the most expensive. I think they're like $100 for maybe 30 minutes. But the amount of information that you can gain in that 30 minutes, you got to be honest with them as well. Don't hold anything back. Your doctor's not going to tell anybody, and neither is anybody you're doing a phone consultation. If you've got anything that you want to be 100% honest with them so that they can give you accurate information.
Jonathan's got a question.
May have missed this, but have either of you set a 2022 goal? Or are you continuing on with your current planning and goals? Okay, so Michael and I next month are going to do something really special for you guys. We're going to do a fitness challenge. And if you look back in my video library, you'll see the Henry Cavill 10,000 pounds in 22-minute challenge. And if you want to check out what that is, it's pretty intense. But basically what it consists of is lifting 10,000 pounds as quickly as you can. And you do one round consists of 1 rep of bench press, 1 rep of deadlift, 1 rep of squat, and you do those consecutively. And once you've done 1 rep of each, that's 1 round, and you continue on to the next round and the next round until you've lifted 10,000 pounds altogether. So that's going to be kind of my first goal, if you will, is to just get through that challenge, because I haven't done it for like 8 months. I think it was like 8 months ago. So who's to I know I can lift more weight, but I don't know if my endurance might have dropped some, because this past month I've been really bad about slacking on my cardio. But as for goals, it's just to continue on with just to continue. I don't plan to like bulk up. I don't plan to cut down. I plan to just consistently continue to make progress. So I don't have any specific goals in line. Maybe I'd like to have a little more muscle mass by the end of next year, and maintain the same body fat. So that's, kind of not call it cliche or whatever. I don't know. It's just to continue making progress. That's my goal.
Cool. Yeah. No, I mean, Jonathan and I know each other. So, I've been training for more than 20 years now. So I don't have any major adjustments in my goals right now. My goal is, I know it seems like a lame answer, but my goal is just to continue to try to be as healthy and as strong as I can for as long as I can. I've got 2 small kids I'm raising, and I plan to be healthy and strong as I raise them into young adults. And then I plan to be healthy and strong when I have my own grandkids. I want to be that guy. So for 2022, no, there's no major adjustment in my goal. I think I'm on a good track. I want to continue to try to always get stronger. I am trying to incrementally get my strength up. And like I said before earlier in the stream, I know that there's a ceiling to everybody. I don't feel like I've reached my ceiling. I'm still actually, doing pretty good on my progressive overloads. I'm actually still moving up in strength. So I'm just going to continue doing that. And I think for someone who's been doing it over 20 years, I think that's probably pretty much the same answer you're going to get out of anybody else. Unless you're a competitive athlete, Jonathan, you're a fighter, or if I was doing something competitively, I might have a goal to try to achieve something in my sport of choice. But as for just generally, I'm a regular dude walking down the street. I'm going to continue to be as healthy and strong as possible. And I do not plan to fail in that goal. I love doing it. It keeps me going, not only physically, but mentally. I know that Blackbeard can say the same. Mental health is just as important, if not more important, than physical health. So they all fit together. But man, I do appreciate the question, because although I kind of gave you a lame answer, I wanted to elaborate on it so you knew where I was coming from on my answer. I give a lot of thought to my health and fitness, lifestyle, and I make sure that I'm not overstepping or setting, again, like we said earlier, unrealistic goals. And I'm not going to set an unrealistic goal for myself. So my goal is to continue to improve, like Chris said, continue to incrementally improve. And I'm on a good track. So I'm going to stay there, and I want to bring as many people along as I can. And that's primary reason why I'm doing this entire YouTube thing, period. I'm trying to build a community, and I'm trying to make sure that I bring a lot of people along with me, because I think it's highly important. Health and fitness is, and health being mental and physical. So I'm just trying to promote good stuff, man. And Jonathan, I know you're the same way. So we're just trying to do this. We're just trying to do this thing. We're just regular dudes trying to get along, do the best we can, and give good advice, and give motivational, inspirational type of advice, whatever it takes to touch people in a positive way is really what I'm trying to do. So anyway, what you got, Chris?
Oh yeah, just basically, what you said about the family. I think we discussed a little bit about this early on in the chat. For some reason, the chats we made last night didn't show up in the chat here, but I guess it's just because the broadcast hadn't began yet, but Brittany had left the message, thanking everybody for supporting me, and I had pointed out that her and our son, they are my greatest inspiration for what I do, because I want to be healthy. Just like you said, I want to be here. I know I've done a lot of damage to my internal organs over the past, several years. And when I got into fitness, I was, drugged out, dried up, like I said. And I want to kind of reverse as much of that damage as I can. I know I'll never be able to get it back to, perfect, but I just really want to, like you said, mental health. I want to improve my mental health as well. I want to just be here, happy, healthy, and to give my son somebody to look up to. Because whenever I did a video on fatherhood as well, if you guys want to check it out in my video library, whenever I found out I was going to be a dad, like I said, I was drugged out, dried up, 154 pounds. I did not fit the portrait of a father at all that I wanted to be for my son. So I knew that I had to change everything. But I didn't change everything all at once. I changed it in small increments over time. Like I told you, I started doing push-ups, and then I started doing, I just progressed, and I progressed slowly but surely, because I had that end goal in mind, and I had small goals that I knew would build up to the end goal. And I'm still not even close to the end goal. I still want to be, I still want to have some more muscle mass. I want to fill out my frame more, because I've got a really long, and I'm 6'3", so I've got really ectomorphic frame. But I'm starting to discover that my genetics aren't as bad as I thought they were. I think I'm going to be able to actually pull off a pretty decent physique within the next 3 to 4 years. I'm already, pretty decent. A lot of people would consider me shredded, not really just swole or anything, but I feel like I will be able to achieve my goal, like my end goal. Maybe not 100%. It was like Thor Ragnarok used to be, Chris Hemsworth, what I wanted to get to. But I think I'll be able to get pretty dadgum close, because he's the exact same height as me, and he has a pretty close to the same exact body type as I do. But the difference between him and I is he's been training a lot longer than me. So I have faith. I thought that once I got to 200 pounds, when I was back when I was 160 pounds, I thought once I got to 200 pounds, I was going to look like a freak. I was like, man, when I get to 200 pounds, I'm going to be huge. But that's not how it works. We all carry our weight differently, whether it's muscle or whether it's fat. We all store fat in different areas, and we all have different muscle inserts. We all have different muscle, our muscle shapes. So I still, I used to think, I'm an ectomorph. I'm never going to make, I'll never get there. I'll never get to that. And even Chris Bumstead, he has similar body type to me. It's been training a lot longer than I have, and he uses a lot. He doesn't use near as much gear as a lot of people do, but I will not use any high doses, because I'm predisposed to hypertension, and I don't want to have a stroke. So I keep my blood pressure in check as much as possible, because that is my biggest deal. That's my biggest worry is, I could definitely PCT, and I could probably get my test level back up to 400, but running HRT, as long as you're being monitored by your doctor, you're being safe about it, being smart about it, using, the organ support, keeping everything monitored, keeping your blood work in check, you're going to be just fine. And HRT, especially for older guys, has actually changed their entire life and made them a lot more healthier and happier, because they had low tests and they didn't even know it. They were completely depressed, overweight, and then they go to the doctor, and the doctor gives them, and you got to be very weary about these doctors, because some of them will prescribe you way more than you need. Some of them are prescribing doses like 200 milligrams a week of test, which is just ridiculous because that's way too much. You know, if you watch Coach Greg, he'll tell you he uses 140 milligrams of test a week. That's his HRT dose, and he's able to maintain the mass that he accrued over his entire bodybuilding career, or not all of it, but most of it. He's still freaking jacked, right? And he races bikes all the time. But as long as you keep it in check, you're going to be okay. I feel like too many people, they're like, oh, steroids, you're going to die, you know? And I hate it. I'm off track, but whenever John Meadows died and those losers who didn't know anything about anything about gear, you know, they just jumped straight to, oh, he killed himself using gear. They had no idea about his pre-existing conditions, and they didn't, you know, they don't realize that we've all got our goals in life. He wanted to be a professional bodybuilder. He chased his dream and he lived it. And he was the most humble and kind person. He was a fantastic dad. And, you know, these people were just bashing him, you know, because he used gear. It's like, who cares? You know, it's not like, what are you doing? Drinking sodas? You know, drinking 10 sodas a day is way worse than using gear if you're, you know, using gear correctly in the healthy way, being monitored by your doctor. But let's see. I missed a few chats. My bad, guys. I didn't mean to fly off the handle over here, you know, but it's just like whenever I think about John Meadows and those people I got into it with over it just drives me up the wall.
Well, so you know, I understand it. I understand completely. So as we're going back to the chat here, we've got Black Bear and I have a grandson, and we both need to be healthy to see him grow into a man. I agree. I think that's the primary goal that I have for my own channel. And when I get on here with Chris and I have these chats, and if you go to my channel specifically, everything I do is around health and fitness. That's the main goal. That's what I'm trying to do, is build a community to help others really achieve the goal of health first and fitness, right? So to kind of bring this full circle, originally we set on this whole thing to kind of address the whole New Year's resolution thing. Mm-hmm. I think that we can really put this to rest and say that New Year's resolutions are on its face BS. But as far as a method of goal setting, it's not. If you want to set a goal, New Year's isn't your starting line. Okay. You want to set a goal. The goal is to start immediately. And if it happens to land on New Year's, who freaking cares? Go do it. But I don't like calling anything a New Year's resolution because it seems like a silly setup for failure.
Procrastination.
So, yeah.
Procrastinators love New Year's resolutions.
So
you might have missed the one she said that they've got a grandson. You read that one, right?
Yeah, I read that out.
Okay, so yeah, and she said she's got two sons also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we're all here for the same reason. We want to be healthy. We want to be fit. We want to be strong. We want to be fast. The thing is we all know nobody gets out of this thing alive. We all are marching to the grave, right? And that's such a gloomy way of putting it. But my point is to say that while we're getting there, because that's the inevitable, while we're getting there, why don't we enjoy the ride? Do you want to be trapped? Do you want to feel like you're trapped in a broken body? Or do you want to feel like you rode a hot rod to the grave, right? And so me personally, I want to ride a hot rod all the way to the grave. As long as I can hang on to it, I will, because it's misery being trapped in a broken body. So to, I guess, bring this plane down, Chris, I think we can both agree. I think we can both agree that New Year's resolutions are BS.
Yeah.
Do not set a New Year's resolution. Set a goal. Mm-hmm. Set a goal, and I encourage you guys to set goals all the time and set them realistically. And then follow my channel, follow Chris, follow these YouTubers here that can help you kind of get through those goals to where you have a connection online. You don't have to be in front of them. And then, by all means, go to your doctor and get yourself a trainer and get professional in-person type of help and motivation. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here for help.
Oh no, we lost him. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys being here. To add on to what he had said, what he was saying is we are both here to inspire people. When I started my channel, I wanted to show other addicts that they don't have to stay stuck in that lifestyle. Device, it's not. I'm trying to get him back on here. Device is not connected. Okay, but anyway, when I started my channel, I wanted to inspire other addicts that they don't have to stay stuck in that lifestyle. They are capable of getting out of that lifestyle and improving their life, and if they've lost their family, get their family back. If they get, we're here, and I encourage you to subscribe to both of us. Michael's, I'm sure half of you guys that are in here are subscribed to him already, but if not, his channel and his Instagram are both linked in the description below. If you want to support my channel, we've got merch. It's my spread shirt. Don't feel obligated by any means, but any support, whether it's subscribe, comments, all this engagement, I appreciate it so much, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's, and stay safe. Don't be out partying. Don't drink and drive, please. I know, it's a time to have fun and to enjoy time with your family. Most of us are here. We got families. So I just want you all to stay safe. And thank you so much again for being here and staying through the show. We got him back. We got him back. Oh, we lost you for a minute. I was wrapping up, but I was just telling him, we're here. And I told him, if I think everybody in the chat right now is already subscribed to you, but I told them that the link to your channel and your Instagram is down in the description. And I was just mentioning that if they want to support my channel, I got the merch. It's down. And these shirts are so soft, man. But there's like coffee mugs. They got handbags. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And in the link below in the description, I think Mike, aren't you gonna get you a spread shop going soon too, right?
Yeah, that's something I'm always, I'm trying to take baby steps as I move forward. There's a lot to juggle. I got a lot going on in my personal life, as well as, trying to do this YouTube thing. And this, you got to treat this like a business. So, and there's so many other things I'm doing professionally outside of even this. So absolutely. But anyway, I'm rambling. So I want to say Happy New Year to Blackbeard, to Ladina, to Jonathan, everybody else in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. You guys are great for jumping on. We love to see you guys in the chat. We love the good little Q&A, the back and forth. It helps the chat out. It helps the whole stream out a lot. So Happy New Year to you guys, and Happy New Year's to you, Chris. And guys, we're ready to wrap this up.
All right, man. Well, Happy New Year's to you, man. And I just can't express how appreciative I am to everybody that stuck through this entire show. When we first started, we had planned to run for 30 to 45 minutes, and it looks like we've more than doubled that. But I feel like we covered some fantastic topics, and we've gotten a lot covered. And Ladina, I know you mentioned, just go check out Michelle. If you've got questions for her, she's really good about messaging back. So if you want to go, you go to the description in any of her videos. That her Instagram will be linked there. And go to her Instagram, send her a message, and she'll set you on the right path. I have a lot of faith in her ability to do that and help you out. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. And Happy New Year again. And thank you so much.
Thank y'all.